When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're the home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not-so-secret Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds and Skims use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/start selling, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/start selling to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/start selling.
Droppens van regen op mijn kop. Hinter via dekkel moest de zieke kleine paarden top. Geet mir kein Sachlin, die drop.
Hey everyone, welcome to Kill Me Now with Judy Gold. I'm your host, Judy Gold, and I have a new knee. I have a new knee. It was so funny because last time I got I know I told you this, but last time, 11 years ago when I got my other knee done, they had female knees and male knees, and now they've changed the name to standard and narrow. But I still got the male one because I'm a big girl. So right now I'm in a shitload of pain. Thank God for Oxy. I only take a little with Tylenol. I also am really swollen and really uncomfortable, but I am up and doing my PT and my exercises and walking around and icing and complaining. And I hate being dependent on anyone. Elisa is the greatest. Okay, so Elisa, who is nursing me back to health, she kept saying, oh, I need to go back to my apartment. I need to go back to my apartment. And I was like, oh God, all she wants to do is get away from me. That's all she wants to do. So finally, my neighbor came over for a couple hours and Elisa went back to her apartment, and she comes back wearing a nurse's uniform, a green nurse's uniform, Hoka's, and speaking in a loud accent that didn't make any sense. And then she went out in the drawer and got my stethoscope and put it around her neck. And it was the fucking most hilarious. I mean, I gotta say, she's got an amazing sense of humor, and it was fucking hilarious. But my concern was that she bought the outfit, the nurse's outfit, thinking it was like a nice regular outfit. But, she bought a fucking nurse's uniform. How funny is that? And she wanted it to be ready for when I got out of the hospital. But of course it wasn't. But it was really funny. And she wears it. She likes it. She looks cute. She's a hot nurse, baby. And she's an overnight nurse. That's right. So anyway, that was really funny. Thanksgiving was great. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I did fall asleep, but I did some cooking. But I did fall asleep on the couch in the middle of it. But you know what? Too fucking bad. Henry and Ben were there, and it was great. And my sister and my niece and my brother-in-law, and then my sister and brother-in-law's niece, who lives in Tel Aviv and has a great restaurant there. She was visiting, and it was just really nice. It was a really nice, delicious meal. And then I took drugs and passed out. So that was my Thanksgiving. I do want to say that I am extremely, extremely thankful for the hostages that have been released. I do worry about the hostages that are still there. I also want to make the point that for every one child or baby, or actually haven't been any infants, but a woman, a grandmother who has been released, there have been 3 Palestinian felons or they're prisoners because they committed a crime or were caught committing crime And so we are, we're getting back our innocent people who were sleeping in bed by giving back 3 of the people who were violent towards Israelis. So that's what we got to do to get these people back. But it is again, Hamas is a terrorist organization, and no one wants Palestinian children to suffer, or any children anywhere to suffer. We don't want that. No one wants that. But this is what we have to do to get our innocent people who were sleeping back. We have to give away or trade 3 of their felons, their prisoners. And by the way, one of whom was in a trade years ago with Shalit, the Israeli soldier who was released for 1,027 Palestinian prisoners. And one of those prisoners who, while he was in prison, got brain surgery at an Israeli hospital, and a Jewish doctor saved his life. He was the mastermind behind October 7th. So, you know what? I gotta say, we love our children, and this whole situation sucks. And the anti-Semitism sucks, and the willful ignorance, and the people showing up and protesting. Where were they during, the Ukraine war? There's so many real genocides that happen, and these people have never showed interest. So it's a really interesting and awful and proud time to be a Jew right now. So there's a lot of mixed feelings there, but we can never relax. You think you got a generation here, a generation there, where it was like, oh, okay, they're over it. We're doing okay. But it never ends. It never goes away. And it fucking sucks. So there you have it. I also want to say, as a Jew, I love our guest this week, Zainab Johnson. She is a Muslim, grew up a devout Muslim in Harlem. She's so fucking talented. She's so fucking gorgeous and funny. And it's really annoying. Like I told her multiple times that, it's not right. People should not get to be like really smart, really athletic, really talented, and beautiful. Like you should have to be a little bit not attractive. The fact that like there's all these like professional athletes who are also really hot and talented actors or musicians or most comedians are not the hottest, but Zainab is, but whatever. But it's not fair. It is not fair that you get to be good looking too. You know what I'm saying? So that was annoying. I really think that you shouldn't get everything. It's fucking, whatever. But she's awesome. Her life story is really interesting, and she has a new special out, and she's it was just fun because I love her, and I love, I love bumping into the girls at the club, and Zainab is just, I don't really love bumping into her because I feel fat and ugly, but her new special, He Jabs Off, is great. And, she's a sister. She's a sister in comedy, and I love her. So I hope I had enough energy for this intro because I am about to go put ice on my knee and lay on the couch, the usual, and read. But you get to do whatever you're doing. Drive, work out on the treadmill, whatever you're doing. I hope that you also sit back and relax and enjoy part 1 of my interview with the one and only Zainab Johnson. I'm very excited for our guest today. First of all, not only is she hilarious, she's also incredibly beautiful. And it's really annoying because the problem is, when you're funny and beautiful, it's like, this is what I equate it to, like big star athlete quarterbacks who are also really good looking. Like you can't get everything. Here's the other thing. She's also really smart. So the whole package is really fucking annoying. And I'm going to have to figure out what I can say to her without feeling like shit about myself. Ladies and gentlemen, and they, them, Zainab Johnson is here. Zainab Johnson. Woo!
Hey, Judy. Hey, hey,
Zainab,
hey, hey, hey.
I haven't seen you in forever. And remember over the pandemic, we did the Drew Barrymore show?
Yes. That was like the first thing I did via, like, big thing via Zoom. Yes.
Right. I say via. I always say via Zoom, and then I make fun of myself. I love that you say via.
Yeah, why do you
Uh,
make fun of yourself? Via is great.
I know. I love via. And you know what I miss? The via rideshare cars they used to have in New York. Remember via?
No, sorry.
You don't remember before the pandemic, you could get a via and it was like a cab, but they picked up other people along the way and it was way cheaper. Okay, whatever, Zainab.
No, but Judy, I live in LA.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know you left New York. We're going to get all into your life. I'm just only focusing on you right now. And I don't know how to hide myself. And okay, it's really annoying having to look at you anyway. But Zainab, are you enjoying Los Angeles?
Yeah, I mean, I just got back. I was actually in New York this morning and I just got back here. So I'm happy to be home. I like Los Angeles. It's so sunny and warm.
Did you take the red eye?
No, I took an early flight this morning. I left JFK at 7 a.m.
Oh, nice. I can't do the red eye anymore. I'm too old. Like I can't,
Really?
yeah, I can't recover from it. I used to like take the red eye, go home, like take a nap, and then, wake up at noon and I was fine. Not anymore. It's like it takes me days and days to recover. But you'll experience that soon enough, Zainab. Okay.
I love the red eye. I love it. No babies. No, I love it. Everybody just wanting to go to sleep as soon as the wheels take off. I love it.
I always have the babies on it no matter what. But okay, so let's start with your life because I find that you have a very interesting life that would not culminate in you being a stand-up comedian. So you were born in Brooklyn. You grew up in
Yep.
Harlem.
Yep.
You're one of 13 children. 13.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That is a lot of children. And let's also say from the same parents.
Yep.
They are devout Muslims or were devout Muslims. I know your father is no longer with us. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So what I find so interesting, and I've, read a lot about you and listened to interviews, is the fact, and I say this because my kids grew up in New York City, that even though you are in this bastion of culture and, art and all of this life experience and all these different kinds of people, you can still be sheltered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially as a kid, it's like here's the thing. I was sheltered and not sheltered all at the same time. Like in terms of having a social life, in terms of socializing outside of like my immediate family and maybe the masjid, I didn't really experience much of New York like without them, right?
Right.
But when I went to school, like from very early, probably like about second grade, I was getting on the bus, the city bus
Right.
from Harlem, traveling all the way downtown Manhattan to go to school. So, I mean, in a way, there's like this, sheltered lifestyle, but then in a way, there's like this sort of scary amount of freedom.
Yeah, it's like you develop these street smarts, and then when you walked into your home, it was a whole different vibe. That's what it sounds like. When I hear you speak. First of all, which number are you of the 13?
I'm fifth. I'm fifth from the top.
Oh my God, you're right in the middle. You're right in the middle. How is
Yeah.
so? I mean, I gotta ask a million questions about. I mean, 13 kids. How many kids slept in your bedroom?
At one time, probably I remember 4. It was me. So I grew up when it was all of us. By the time it was all 13 of us, we lived in a 5-bedroom apartment in Harlem.
No way.
And yeah, large apartment. But I mean, even still, it's not big enough because once you get older, the older kids kind of need their privacy, and
Right.
so the younger kids kind of get like lumped together. I remember we had bunk beds in the hallway.
Right.
Um, my so maybe when I was about 16 is when I got my own room. Like that was the age that you become where it's like now you need your own room. But
Right.
before that, I shared a room with my 3 younger sisters.
So, and how many girls, how many boys?
6 girls, 7 boys.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
And
one set of twins.
do you feel like you got enough attention from your parents? One-on-one attention?
You know what? I can't really remember, but I don't feel deprived
Right,
either.
right.
Like I feel like my mom, I have very clear memories of my mom doing everything that she could do to get me into like gifted and talented programs, to get me into summer programs, to, I don't know, give me opportunity. Like she worked really hard to find free opportunities that were impactful because we couldn't
Of
afford the paid
course.
opportunities,
Right,
you know? But I don't ever remember. I remember it being too much.
right,
I remember getting too much attention. Like
right,
there's no quiet. I mean, I think as a kid, I felt like, like an old father. Like if I could just go sit in the bathroom for
right,
20
right,
minutes
right.
and have my alone time, you know?
So, can you name every one of them?
Of course I can.
Okay, go.
You want me to do it?
Yes, I'm
Walida,
fascinated by this.
Walida, Nubia, Walid, Abdul Halim, Zainab, Abdul Warid, Muammar, Abdul Wahid, Muhammad, Misra Sultana, Muslima, Jibril.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I could have gave you their first names, last names, middle names, birth dates. Like I know everybody.
Oh my God. So you're all really close.
Yeah, I think that there's clusters, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that the older brothers are close, the younger brothers are close, the younger sisters are their own little unit. I would say that I am one of the siblings that has a really good relationship with everybody,
I bet.
but it's
Because
not
you're
like
the
it's not.
comedian.
Yeah, and I think I'm also like the diplomat.
Right.
I am
But that's
the,
what we
you know,
do. Yeah. Well, that's what we do. We
yeah.
disarm people. We are the disarmers. This week's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now, I am a huge advocate for therapy. I talk therapy. I like physical therapy too, but I'm talking about talk therapy. I've been in therapy since I'm 18 years old. There is nothing better. Nothing better. And it is a stressful time. We just had an election. It's the holidays, and we're going to have to spend family time or not spend family time. It's a decision you might make in therapy, because therapy is really the best way, the only way to process your feelings, anxiety, depression, everything. I've been doing it for over 40 years. I know what I'm talking about. So if you've been thinking about starting therapy, if you thought about it for years and just didn't do it, please give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It's suited to your schedule. You go to betterhelp.com/JudyGold. You fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch your therapist at any time for no additional charge. I've done that multiple times in my life, switch therapists. It works. It works. And I know a lot of people who have used BetterHelp, and they love it. So find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/JudyGold today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome. So, can you tell me what dinner time was like? Like, I'm sorry that I'm harping on this, but this is so fascinating to me. What was dinner like? Like, and I can't imagine being the mother of 13. Her poor vagina, too.
I always say that on stage. I'm like, whenever the crowd is like, oh, I'm like, I know her vagina, right? Like, that's the first thing we all think of. That poor vagina. And,
Yeah.
and, my mom had all natural births.
Oh God.
All
I
natural births.
can't. She better be doing her Kegels. So, what was dinner time? Like, all right. So you got up. At what age was she like, all right, I can't get you ready for school. It's like up to you. I got the little ones here.
Oh, that was very early. Probably like, I don't know, third or fourth grade, like elementary school, definitely. But I mean, I didn't have that much to choose from. My mom used to get our clothes sewn, and I really actually hated it because she would go to the fabric district and buy the sale fabric. So she would have 40 yards of the same fabric and
So
then get
you're
me
all
outfits
wearing the
made.
same pattern?
We're not all wearing the same pattern. She would buy a different pattern for like me. Like I'd have a different pattern than my sister,
Right.
but I would go to school and everybody would think it was the same outfit because
Right.
everything is the same pattern.
Right.
And I
Gotcha.
hated it.
Right. My mother made my own clothes.
I,
Because I
yeah,
couldn't,
I hated it.
I didn't have clothes in my size, and she would make all our clothes, and the kids would make fun of me. So, okay, so you'd get up. Was there breakfast? Like I can't. Did I'm
It
just
was so chaotic, Judy. It was so
right?
chaotic. I can't, like, no, I will tell you this. I don't ever remember having a dining room table growing
Wow,
up as a kid.
wow.
Sitting at a dining room table was something that I did when I went to my grandmother's house
Okay,
or like a rich friend's house or a
right.
friend that was the only kid. But I never had that growing up. I don't remember. I mean, we ate breakfast. My mom was like, it was the type of house where my mom would make a big pot of oatmeal and then it's on the stove and it's up to you to serve
Right.
yourself. Once you became big enough to serve yourself, you serve yourself. And she made what she made. And if you didn't eat it, my father would say, well, I guess you're not that hungry, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
But
Such
I
old
don't, it
school.
was
So
almost
old
like,
school.
yeah. And it's like, I don't ever remember having enough plates. I don't ever remember having enough silverware. It was kind of like, oh, dinner's ready. Then you better hurry up and get what you can get. And we would all like just sit down, like maybe in what was considered the dining room or
Hmm.
like the kitchen or even a living room. We'd all just sit on the floor, like in our backs against the wall. You know what I'm saying? And like still very communal style, but
Right.
definitely not around a table. Like that's just not something that we had. And then you'd be waiting. Like I might be sitting there eating, and then I'd have like one of my brothers waiting, like, hurry up with the fork. Like
Right.
we never had enough.
Wow. So everyone had to fend for themselves.
Yes. If you were not like a baby or a toddler, yes, you had to fend for yourself.
What did your father do for a living?
He worked for the MTA for a very large part of my childhood, the majority of it. He worked for the MTA. He was a token booth clerk.
Wow. Wow, we don't have those
Yeah.
anymore.
We don't, right?
Yeah,
Oof.
I mean, there's maybe sometimes a person there to, help, but that's it. And
Yeah.
and your mother did she work outside of the house? I mean,
No.
there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Now,
No.
did they want all of these children? I mean, was this like
Judy,
we're gonna
my mom wanted 20.
Oh my
Then she
God. Oh my
she
God.
wanted she wanted 20. She made it to 13, right? But then I think my mom had my youngest brother when she was either 44 or 46, right? And I remember after that, like I think as much as she was ambitious to go after 20, I think she felt like my youngest brother, like, okay, that's enough for her, right? But then at some point after him, maybe when he was about 6 or 7 years old. So now at that point, she's like in her very early 50s, right?
Right.
Or at least like or at least like 50 years old.
Right.
My father is on her trying again,
No
you know,
way.
like trying. Yes. And my mom was like,
No, I can't.
like, I mean, yeah, I can't, I cannot
I
please
can't.
get
I'm
away from
peeing
me.
right now while you're talking to me. I can't. um, so what an interesting way to grow up. So I feel like, I mean, I'm thinking home for you it's such a different thing than it would be for anyone else who didn't, what is home? Like, I feel like you would be so flexible and able to be around a lot of people and negotiate and navigate because of this existence that you grew up in with. And yet, do you value your alone time?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely can be around a lot of people. But yeah, I most times like to be alone. And I am most times after I'm around a lot of people, I'm
Oh,
exhausted.
right. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super exhausted, but I do find like whenever there's like, whenever there's an opportunity to like socialize or fellowship or whatever, I'm always like, I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll come to you because I just want to be able to leave when I want to be able to leave.
Right.
I try my best to not make it so that I have to ask people to leave my space.
Right. But
You
you
know, I'm
do.
like, I'll
You're
come and
okay
I'll
with it.
go.
Are you okay with asking people to leave your space? I mean, I'll have people over and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm like so blunt. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm tired. Bye now.
You know what? I feel like I am blunt. I mean, I'm getting soft as I get older. I'm getting really soft. I'm realizing it, but I am blunt. But I had these two people come to my house, like they were like close acquaintances, and it didn't matter what I said, Judy, they would not leave. I was like, okay, guys, well, this was
Oh my God,
fun.
that's so
You know,
fucking annoying. That is so fucking annoying.
Judy, this is when I was in an apartment. I was in a one bedroom apartment.
Oh,
I got a water out the kitchen, a snack. I grabbed my laptop and went in my bedroom. And I was like, okay, you guys, I'm gonna take a nap. So just make sure you lock up
oh
when
my
you know.
God, are you kidding? Are you fucking, and
I
they
came back.
stayed?
I came back out.
I
They were
can't.
on the
Yeah,
couch under the
can't.
blanket, just like, how was your nap?
Oh my God, get the fuck out of my house, you fucking assholes. Okay. So you grew up very, very religious, very observant Muslims, and a lot of your community outside the house was based on that. And I mean, you went to school, you went to public school, and you saw, I mean, it's just interesting that you saw the way other people who had a brother or a sister and these small families and who were very assimilated
Mhm.
went about their lives, and yet you are in a public school taking public
Mhm.
transportation, fending for yourself, and then part of this whole other community, which I think is so probably makes you so it gives you so many dimensions. I mean, I know that as a Jew that I went to public school, and then my parents were very observant, and I had this whole other side of my life that I didn't share with my non-Jewish friends. So was I know that when I heard you speak that you always observed Ramadan, and then in high
Mhm.
school when you were 16 or something, or no, wait, hold on. I don't know. I heard you say something about when you got into high school, you were like, you know what? I don't know how much of this I want to do. But then you went back, which I think is
Yeah, so
common.
like when I was in elementary school, um, it was there was no, I mean, I didn't want to talk about it. Like I don't think that's something that I shared with any of my classmates because I had like it's like there weren't a lot of black kids in the school with me. And I was also black and like a Muslim girl who wore hijab. And so I was easily identifiable. And so I didn't share it, but it was obvious. It's like a couple of times a week, someone would pull my kimar off my head.
Oh God.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so that was my existence in elementary school. As much as I was still a cool kid, like I was really a
Oh,
cool
well,
kid. I
duh.
had a
Look
lot
at
of
you.
friends
Yeah.
in school. But, there was always that one kid that was curious and mean.
Hmm.
And like, I got to see, I don't know if she has hair or not. And it's like, okay, I'm going to do this every week to you. But every Friday, my mom would come and take us out of school to take us to Juma service. That happened all throughout my elementary education. But then when I got to middle school, which for me was 5th through 8th grade, she stopped doing that. Like I was still covering up, but she stopped, she stopped coming to pick me up. At that point, I'm like,
Right.
I'm early adolescent, and she's like letting me find my way, but still my father's very adamant about how I'm leaving the house, what I look like, what my
Right.
extracurriculars are. I had finally got friends and had a little bit of independence, At that point, I was probably like leaving the house one way and then borrowing some of my friends' clothes and changing in the elevator and like looking completely different,
Right.
in school and then changing when I got back home. But then in high school, I started playing basketball.
Right.
I started playing basketball the summer. I started playing basketball in middle school, but I mean, it really got serious the summer before I went to high school. I joined the AAU team. This was like my
Wow.
everyday out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up. And like from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., I was playing basketball. I was in
my
tournaments,
my
that type
son,
of stuff.
do you know my son is captain of his college team?
Really?
Yeah, and he's getting recruited to play professionally in Israel, sadly.
Oh, that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so not sadly, I'm so proud of him. I'm just sad about
Yeah,
what's going on
yeah.
in Israel. But yeah, so I'm an AAU basketball mom, so I totally get it.
Yeah.
But how did you get to the games? I mean, I'm sure your parents couldn't drive you to all these tournaments
Oh,
and stuff.
The train,
Oh my God!
Judy.
Wow!
I would be going all the way up. I would be going to the Polo Grounds. I would be going to Dykeman. I would be going to the
Right.
Bronx. I played for Riverside AAU.
Oh, Riverside! Yes.
Yeah,
What a great
yeah,
team. Yeah.
yes. I would be walking places. There's like other girls on the team. It's like we may have lived in like neighborhoods that were not too far away. So it's like,
Right.
okay, we're gonna meet up again, and then we're gonna continue going. I played in Brooklyn. But it's like, yeah, you even see the kids on the trains and buses now today, especially in the summertime with their sports gear on, their
Yeah.
basketball gear on, and their AAU backpacks, and it's
Right.
like that's their lot. That was like my life. But I remember when I got to high school, I really became like a cool kid, like a
Right.
TV show cool kid. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I needed to look the part. I needed to act the part. I'm now very much interested in boys.
Right.
Like, I can't be all of this cover up, all of this, you know what I'm saying? Covering my hair and covering my arms and my
Right.
legs. Like, I don't know I don't know who that's for,
It's not. It
but
does. It's
it's
not
not
for
gonna,
me. Yeah.
yeah, it's not for me. And, at 14, 15, 16 years
Oh,
old, it's like, no, no,
please.
no, this is
Yeah.
not for me. Right. And so I remember my father, I didn't have to really convince him to stop showing my hair. Cause it's like, I mean, that makes sense to me, like hair is not that big of a deal, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't really be turned on by seeing somebody's hair. I
Right.
don't know. That's how I feel. But he was still very strict when it came to how I was covering up. And I remember I remember saying, like, I'm playing basketball now, this is a big part of my life. And really like selling it to him, like, I'm gonna try and get a scholarship, but in
Right.
order, I'm saying, this is the trajectory, but I can't get there with these restrictions,
Right.
So I need you to like let up. It's so funny, Judy. I remember my high school team, we played against this other team. I can't remember, maybe it was like Randolph High School or something like that. And there was a hijabi girl playing basketball. She was fully covered up. She had on leggings. She was
Oh
fully.
God. Yeah.
It was like, well, I see there's a way.
Oh God, that's
and
hilarious.
and I was like, but look, she's not very good. She's not
Right.
very good.
And she's sweating. I
And
don't know if you could tell she's schwitzing like yeah.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting. Go to your happy place for a happy price with Priceline's Black Friday sale. Save now and travel later with our best deals of the year.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
You had a double whammy there. Your Black and you're Muslim, which one? I mean, it's hard enough being Black, you know, and
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
add this religion that people really don't understand,
Yeah.
and have all these preconceived notions about. Which was the one you felt? I don't know if there was one that you felt you had to navigate more, or more defend more, or teach people about more. Which was the one that you felt more separated from these fucking idiots?
Definitely being Black, because I
Yeah.
think that that's like something, I mean, I've been Black like all my life. And like when I was when I was a very easily identifiable Muslim,
Hmm.
like meaning I was fully covered,
Yeah.
right? Um, it's like I'm a kid, so I don't even really understand it enough
Right.
to explain it or defend it either. I'm really just at this point following instructions. I'm obeying my parents. Like, this is what we do, this is what they said we do, and this is what I'm doing, right?
Right.
And like, I can't really tell you anything except for that. I could tell you like the things that I know. I could tell you I don't eat pork. I could tell you that I pray 5 times a day. I could tell you why I'm leaving school on Friday and a half day. But other than that, I can't really defend anything. And kids, they're not really asking you to do that. They're just, I'm a kid like in the 90s, right? And so they're like asking you. They're just like, do you have hair? That's the biggest thing
Right.
for them. Do
Right.
you have
They're just
hair?
curious. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, but beyond that, like I said, once I was like 14, 15, I'm no longer covering up, but
Right.
it's like I'm still a Black girl,
Yeah.
and I don't, I don't remember feeling heavily discriminated against. I have to be honest. Like I was born in Brooklyn. I spent the first 5 years of my life there, and then I came to Harlem, which is very, Black familial community.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm only around. I'm only around a bunch of non-Black kids when I'm at school
Right.
during the day. But then it's like we all. I think I realized this in retrospect. Like, first of all, I went to school with a bunch of Jewish kids, which
Right.
makes sense if I'm in school downtown Manhattan, right?
Right. That's the Jew belt, by
Um,
the way.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I realized it a couple of
Okay.
days ago. I realized it. And it's so funny because it's like we're all just kids, really trying to like, Evan is getting teased for his yarmulke too. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
Right.
uh, you know and then the new thing is like, oh, we thought this was just like a regular smart Black kid, but he can't come to none of the birthday parties at school. Why is that? Oh, he's Jehovah's Witness.
Who's witness?
Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like I felt like we were all just like here, just young kids trying to figure out what our parents had gotten us into.
Right. Yeah. And
And
the similarities between Judaism and the Muslim religion is
Islam.
it's so similar. It's the same. It's really very, very parallel. So yeah, I mean, I hope that wasn't a really ridiculous question, but I always,
No,
that showing your religion so outwardly like that and being Black, like I can't imagine,
I think I defend, interestingly enough, Judy, I think I defend myself more being a Muslim woman that does not cover up, and I am constantly expressing how proud I am to be Muslim.
Right.
I think that I have to defend that more, and
Right.
there's a lot of, I didn't experience this when I was a kid, but now being out in the world, I do know that there's a lot of like racism within Islam.
Right.
Sometimes I get, I mean, not ever in person, but definitely on it via the internet. There
Right.
goes via.
Oh, please, yeah.
Definitely by way of the internet, I get a lot of like, you don't have any right to our faith.
Shut
Which
the
I think
fuck
is
up.
the most
That's how.
foolish thing.
Right. It's like being gay and being an observant Jew. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I can be both. I can do both.
Yeah.
And I'm doing both.
Yeah.
And you're not the fucking boss of the religion.
Yeah. I have a joke about like, it's 13 of us and I'm trying to figure out, like, it's such a variety, but we trying to figure out who the gay kid is, right? Because just statistically.
Are there any? I know there's no gays.
Not that we know of,
What
you
the
know,
fuck?
but
That's not right. They're, like, you should have 1.3 that are gay.
we should listen. We got the numbers. We definitely got the numbers. And so I remember saying it on stage in like Minnesota somewhere, which has a
Such a
very large,
good premise.
uh,
Yeah.
such a large Muslim Somali community.
Right.
And this guy came up to me, this Somali man came up to me after the show. He said, "Can I talk to you?" And I'm like, "Sure, sure. Thank you for coming to the show." He's like, "You were so great." He was like, "But you said that you think your brother might be the gay one?" And I said, "Oh yeah. You know, we don't know, but I'm just, you know, I'm just being funny.
Yeah.
Like, you know." He was like, "But you're Muslim." I said, "Yeah. What's up?" And
Oh
he
my
said,
God.
"Well, you think your brother's the gay one?" I said, "Oh yeah." I'm slowly getting where this is going. You know,
Right.
I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "That's not possible.
Oh
It's
my
not
God.
possible."
Shut the fuck up. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Oh God. And you know what? He was gay. Guaranteed. Okay. So which this is another, like, all right, you got into sports, you were a cheerleader,
Wait, where'd you get that from? I
you
wasn't no
said
damn
it.
cheerleader.
You said you were a cheerleader on a podcast. You go, "No, I was a cheerleader. I was into sports." Okay. I wrote it down. I swear to God you said it. And
I don't
then,
remember that.
all right, I'm going to send it to you. You then go to CCNY, the City College of New York. Okay. Everyone
Yes.
listen to this now. She gets a bachelor's degree in math. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like, what? How does
Math
that?
and education.
I know,
Math
but
and education, because I wanted to
to
teach
be a
high school, and in order
right,
to teach high school, you have to
you have to
pick
get an
a study. You
education.
have to make. You
You
got to get
were
a double. You got to do a
right
double major.
to
Yeah.
be a high school math teacher. What would you have taught? Because you did teach for a while, right? Or a
Yeah,
little
I did.
bit.
I did teach for a little while, but
What'd
I
you
didn't teach in a high
teach?
school. I taught math, but I didn't teach in a high school. But if I was teaching in a high school, what grade would I want to teach?
Like, do you know
I mean, I don't know if I
calculus?
would. Yeah.
Oh
I mean, I'm not a.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, calculus. Of course, sure.
But I realized I was out of practice because my nephew was asking me for help with his trig homework. He's
Oh,
in 11th
trigonometry.
grade,
Yeah, I
and
really did well on that. Yeah.
yeah, and I had to really like brush up on like sine, cosine. Yeah, like I really had to
Okay.
brush up on it.
I
You
fucking
know?
hated it. I mean, I come from a math family and I hated it. I can't believe you were a STEM girl.
Yeah, but that's how I got when I was younger. That's how I got into every gifted and talented program. That's how my mom got me into these better educational situations. She would take me down to the district. I think I was like in District 3 schools. She would take me down to the district and
Yeah,
they
my
would
kid's
test
same.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the test kept coming back. She's in 98, 99 percentile for math. She's in 97 percentile for reading. And my mom, like, once I got in, she was like, "Okay, I got another kid. Let's test him too." Because it's
Right.
almost I don't. It's not legacy, but they're almost like once they're working with the parent,
Right.
it's like,
And they
okay, who's
see,
the
yeah.
next kid? And it really did help some of my siblings that came after me. I have another brother right now who is in Philly and he's an engineer, and he was the same way. He was the same way. He went through the exact same tests, exact same programs,
Yeah.
exact same elementary system, like
Yeah,
everything
my
that I
kids
did.
did the same
And
thing. Yeah.
funny enough, him and I are a lot alike.
Wow. Oh my God. So, all right. So you taught math and your father dies suddenly.
Yeah.
And you find out, so your father dies suddenly and you have this epiphany of, what am I doing? My friend's moving to LA. She's going to be a star. I want to be a star. Is this kind
No,
of?
yes. So it didn't happen quite like that. So the epiphany came when I was actually in a classroom. I was in a classroom, like I said, I was in a fifth grade classroom, and these kids were smart. They were. It was like a magnet, but also like I want to say charter school. Their parents were very involved. Like you could
Right.
tell these parents were like, I can't afford private school, but I'm going to do the best to
But
get my kid.
don't you think that parents in public and charter schools are way more involved than parents in private schools?
I don't know because I don't know parents in private schools, but
Yeah.
I did. I will. As a teacher, I think I saw both. Like I've been through parent teacher conferences and stuff, and you do want the parent, or at least I did. I wanted the parent, even if I had a complaint, to always advocate for their kid.
Yeah, of
You
course. Yeah.
you want to know that's there, even if it's a thorn in your ass. You
And
know what I'm
that's what your
saying?
mother did.
Oh yeah, my mother definitely. My mother. I mean, she couldn't have a job. How could she? She
Yeah.
had kids in different
Please,
schools
that is
all
a
throughout the
job. That is a
city.
full time. That's a
Yeah,
beyond full time. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But wait, you asked
So I said
you.
you had this epiphany. You said you were teaching fifth graders.
Oh, I was teaching, and they were great. Normally, like the epiphany comes when shit hits the fan, right?
Yeah.
They were great. I remember that day so specifically. Like, wow, I could probably leave the classroom and they wouldn't even know it. Like, they're so invested in like their work. They're so like well behaved and whatever. And I was just standing there with like this complete silence, and I was like, oh, but I don't think I'm supposed to be a teacher. So I had that epiphany in that moment, right?
Wow.
Now, my father had already, that was unfortunate. My father had passed away by that, the summer before I had
Right.
this, whatever. And my friend had finished, she had graduated, and she had graduated from an engineering school, but she was into like spoken word and music and all of that. And she was like, Zainab, I think she had been auditioning in New York for stuff, and she was like, I think I'm going to move to LA. We used to go to LA in college, like during spring breaks, we would go and have fun and,
Right.
and so she was like, I think I'm going to move to LA. And I was like, oh man, for what? She was like, because I want to be famous. I got to go
Right.
to LA, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And this is going to parlay into this. And I was like, damn, I can't let her be famous without me. Like that was a legitimate thought,
Right.
Like I don't really know the all the famous people I know. I don't really know their best friend,
Right.
But also, I think the thing that allowed me to do it, like you're talking and you're like, oh girl, okay, I'll join you. Let me finish out this year and then I'll come join you.
Right.
The thing that put the fire under my butt was that my father had died.
Right. Of
And so
course.
I
Yeah.
felt like time was of the essence. I felt like, dang, I don't know what, Allah has planned for me. I don't know how long my life will be.
Right. It
But
really does
inshallah,
change you. Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to have any regrets. I do not want to live my life with regrets. And that
Right.
was that gave me the courage to,
Right.
pick up everything in my little Harlem apartment and pack up my little BMW and drive to Los Angeles, California.
And another prophetic moment was your mother told you that your father wanted to be a comedian, that you had no idea.
Yeah, and she just said it so casually. I think that's the area which her and I are a lot alike. Like my friends tell me that all the time. Like, Zainab, you're like a time release capsule. Like out of nowhere, you just release this heavy information
Right.
about your life casually with no explanation. And my mom does the same thing. Like out of nowhere, we were just sitting in her house in the living room one day. The rare moments where I get to have 100%
One-on-one
of
with
her
your
attention.
mom. Yeah.
That's very rare, right? Now that we're getting older and older, it's a little bit more common, but at that time it wasn't common. And when I first started seeing it, and she was like, your father would be really proud of you. And I was like, would he? And she was like, yeah, he always wanted to be a comedian. I was floored when she
Right.
said it. I was floored. Judy,
Was he funny?
No. Like he's funny to me, like as a
Right.
character, because I'm taking this guy who's so
Yeah.
serious and so sort of like unreasonable at times,
Right.
with his strictness, I can take that and make it a funny character. But when I was a kid, I don't ever remember thinking like, God, he's so much fun.
Right.
But I do remember like laughing with him. But I don't remember feeling like my father is so funny. But I also don't remember feeling like I was a very funny individual
Right.
either. But people from my past tell me all the time, I'm not surprised. Like, this is what you was always supposed to. You was always so funny in school. And I'm like, what?
That's the best. Not knowing, because then you have an ego. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of my interview with Zainab Johnson. How fucking great is she? And she's really good looking. Okay? I mean, I don't want to say that, but it's like fucking annoying. Like, most funny people are not the most attractive. I mean, well, Lucy was there are really fun, or they hide their attractiveness. You know, it's secondary. But no, not this one. Gorgeous, tall, fucking smart. Yeah. Anyway, part 2 is awesome too. And her special, He Jabs Off, is available now on Prime Video. Get it, listen to it. We need comedy. Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling, marketed, edited. Well, it's not edited by Brittany, but she does do all the clips and everything, which means she has to listen to the whole fucking episode. I'm sure she wants to kill herself, but whatever. So that's Brittany Jones Howard's Richmond. And I do have gigs coming up. We do have a live podcast. We did not get to talk to Modi long enough. And so we decided let's finish it with a live podcast, which will be at the Midnight Theater on December 12th in New York City. Tickets are going really, really fast, but it's at 7 p.m. and it's going to be sold out, and it's going to be a great conversation. And someone's going to help me up on the stage. So that's that. I listen to me be on Sandyland this week with Sandy Bernhard. Yep, on her radio show, which is my favorite, Sandyland. That's on Thursday. I'm doing a benefit on December 6th, if I can walk, the Laurie Beachman Theater. Hanukkah's coming up. A lot of stuff going on. But I want to tell you that on December 16th at the South Orange Performing Arts Center in New Jersey, I will be with Liz Glazer and John Fish, both favorite guests on the podcast. We are doing a Jewy Jew show at South Orange Performing Arts Center. It is going to be I swear to God, it's going to be such a fucking great show. So do not miss that. That's on December 16th at 8 p.m. in South Orange, New Jersey, which is my home state. Yeah, the Garden State is my home state. On Christmas Day, December 25th, I will be at Stand Up New York for a very Judy Christmas, Jewdy, and that will be with a lot of other Jews, and that will be a great fucking show. So I'm going to get back into it, getting on that stage. I don't like being off the stage for a very long time, but, you know, those are my dates coming up. I'm praying for more hostages, hopefully by the next time part 2 of Zainab it lands or posts or whatever the fuck it's called. We'll have even more, hopefully all of them out. So bring them home. And I pray for peace. Peace, 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 peace. That's what we need. And stop the fucking anti-Semitism and read a goddamn book and do your due diligence. And I'm going to go take some Oxy. What do you think of that? Huh? I'm going to fall asleep to my Barbara Streisand book that Elisa got me for my birthday. That's right. I can't believe anyone's still listening, but the book is really good. Really good. And I'm kind of enjoying having time to read and not have to, you know, run around. It's kind of nice, but the pain sucks. Anyway, that's all I got to say. I want to thank you all for listening. As we always say, first of all, I love you. Thank you for being, you know, thank you for just, you know, listening. I mean, really, thank you for being fans of the podcast. I appreciate it so much because, as you know, I lose money on it. But I love talking, as you can see. But thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful week. Peace, 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 baby. And as we always say, so long.
Ritual is hardly the only brand running a 40% off sale, but it is the only sale asking you to shop responsibly. In this chaotic sale season, we're urging you to think about what's essential. Supporting your foundational health, immune system, and gut microbiome? All pretty essential. How about making sure your products are heavy metal tested, clean label project certified, and vetted for ingredients deemed high risk for human rights and environmental issues? Also essential. So this Black Friday, skip the micro trends and put your savings where they matter. Your health. Give back to your body and support your foundational health with 40% off daily essentials like Symbiotic Plus for gut support, Hyacera for skin support, and stress relief to support the body's natural cortisol response. Ritual products are science-backed, vegan, GMO-free, and sourced through their trademark traceable supply chain. Get 40% off at ritual.com/podcast and shop responsibly.